Hello and welcome to Lenovo Unboxed. This is Gavin, as always, with my good friend
Kevin.
I'd forgotten actually. Kevin, I'm troubled today.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any opening theme music for our unboxing videos, and it concerns me. So
we should get some.
we'll outsource that to our fans, and we'll look for a future contest coming. We're gonna get right to it today. We've got a brand new generation of our Yoga franchise.
Yep.
We were gonna unbox Yoga 11S. We've got two different colors, and we're gonna. This is a mystery color. Let's just see what's in the box.
All right.
We're proud to have a box today.
Yes.
Not always a given.
Not always the case. Today, special.
Yeah. So get it rolling, Kevin.
All
and,
right.
Let's maybe acclimate people and remind them what the heck yoga is. For people in many countries, Lenovo used to be known as the guys who made ThinkPads. And I feel like last October, when we rolled out the first Yoga, that was kind of a turning point, and people started to know us for more than just ThinkPads.
Yep.
And this beauty here is a big reason why.
Agreed. So, as you said before, last year what everyone would have seen would have been the Yoga 13-inch,
Sure.
creatively named, and the Yoga 11. So the key difference here is that the Yoga 11 was actually a Windows RT, an ARM processor, Windows RT based product.
Okay.
With all the
lower powered, that type of
and
thing.
limitations on what programs could be run, what applications could be run. But 11S, as it says here on the box, full Intel processor up to Core i7, full Windows 8, application compatibility, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, but in a small, it's the 11.6-inch display
Correct.
there, right? So we're looking at something smaller.
Right.
I just want to point out, man, in the olden times, we did not have packaging this beautiful. We got a little smudge on it here, but love the box, very artful, and maybe a metaphor for like the attention that goes into the design of these things, you know?
So here's the system itself. Just
right.
for the sake of this being an actual unboxing, we'll show.
Sure.
Here's your power cord.
There's
and
your user guide.
as
quick
we
start.
call it, your ship group.
What percentage of the people do you think really use the user guide, and what percentage boot it up and try to figure it out themselves?
All I can say is what I do.
All right. Yeah, I think I don't have to ask.
All right, so it comes in a handy dandy sleeve here. Looks like we have a gray one.
All right, silver. Do you say silver? Or
Silver.
gray on these? Yeah. It's royal
Grayish
silver. I'm
royal.
sure we have a good marketing name for it. We'll
Yep.
look on the website to see.
Yep, and as we open it up here,
Magical silver.
little screen screen protector here, and as you open it up, it's actually got a little sticker here. I don't know if we can see this, a little sticker that actually shows you where the power button is.
Which is great. We've heard, I know on Twitter, I've had a few people who just got their new Yoga
Yeah.
and said, hey, excuse me, where's the power button? So it's kind of subtly placed in the front panel.
Right,
there,
but purposefully placed there so that when you are using it in all the different modes, say you use it, and we'll get to the modes in a minute, say you're using it in tablet mode and goes to sleep and you want to wake it back up, you don't want the button on the bottom side
You don't
or
want
the
it
top side.
inaccessible,
You want it on
right?
the edge. Exactly.
I got you. All right. So
right.
show us around this thing a little bit. You mentioned the
Yep.
modes, and we'll get to the different ways you can use Yoga, the things that make it kind of the
Yep.
dynamic wonder that it is. But let's start with
Yep.
the basics.
The standard around the horn on the ports here, we've got power, SD card, USB 2.0, speaker, rotation lock, and then as we go around the front here, aforementioned power button, and the Lenovo recovery button as well if you ever need to reload the OS or recover your volume up or down.
forbid.
Second speaker, HDMI, USB 3.0, and headphones.
Okay.
All right. So not, again, to sort of belabor the whole thing, but I think one of the biggest draws for someone who's potentially looking at buying one of these is the, for lack of a better term, convergence, so that you don't have to carry two devices.
Okay.
Right. At slightly over 3 pounds, about 3.1 pounds, you've got a fully featured tablet and you've got a laptop. So you're no longer having to carry around a 3.5 pound laptop and a 1.5 pound tablet.
Yeah, just
right?
for those of us who carry both of those in a
Yep.
backpack, I know that's a major draw when you're
Right.
traveling a lot or something.
And then you've got the full set of ports that come along with this actually being a full-fledged Ultrabook.
All right.
Right, which you don't find in many tablets.
So again, at first glance, when you pull this thing out, it is a conventional laptop.
Right.
And then you start to notice the hinges. Tell us a little bit about the hinges again
Okay.
for people who may have missed it the first go round. These are Lenovo patented hinges, right?
Right. I mean, that's really what makes the Yoga the Yoga. Is it's difficult to visualize, but just thinking in very rough terms, there's actually a double set of round cams inside this hinge. So if we can capture this on camera, what happens is when I go back to 180 degrees, only the top section of the hinge is unlocked, and then once I pass 180 degrees, the flat part of the cam on the top interacts with the flat part of the cam on the bottom, and it unlocks the bottom part of the hinge, which lets me start to pull it all the way around into tablet mode.
All right, so this is awesome to me, not only because then it's a tablet, and again, I remember we walked around New York City the day that Yoga was announced to the world, and we blew people's minds from Times Square down to Washington Square Park. But what I love, Kevin, is the part about the keyboard, and I want to make sure we mention this because a common question people have is, as you're flipping it around from laptop to tablet, what about the keyboard? And so I know that for number one, the keyboard is slightly recessed, right?
Correct. So when it's laying down flat, no keys are being pressed.
Okay, and then also when it goes past 180 degrees,
the keyboard turns off.
Magic happens. The keyboard is disabled, and you're officially in tablet.
So when you're holding this and using it in tablet mode, even though my hand may be resting on a key, I'm not typing anything.
Okay.
Right? So that's
also a scratch-resistant coating on the keyboard, I know, so we've got you covered. Never fear when you flip around to tablet mode that you're doing anything wonky or weird to your keyboard.
Nope.
That was probably the number one question that people had when we first introduced Yoga. Like, you guys have lost your minds. You're mad.
No, that was probably one of the first things they thought of, actually.
Yep.
So on to the modes.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So I think laptop mode is pretty self-explanatory.
I think most of you are tech-savvy enough to know what a laptop is by now.
Tablet mode, also pretty self-explanatory. And, from the studies I've seen, that's probably about 50-60% of the total usage time of Yogas in the market is between laptop and tablet mode.
Sure.
However, we've got another couple of modes that are pretty cool, right? We've got what we call stand mode, right? The most obvious applicability to this is watching movies on an airplane.
Absolutely, man. We've all been there.
Yeah,
the guy in front of you is getting ready for a big nap. There's 12 hours left in your flight, and the guy's reclining right into your face. So.
Right. So if the edge of the tray table is here, the seat coming down here is much preferable to having the seat coming down crunch.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, and it happens every time, man. The longer the flight, the more sure you can be the guy in front of you really needs a nap.
Right.
I've always found.
And then there's some other use cases for this, like video chatting using Skype or any other video chat application. You've got the screen a little closer to you. You can adjust it very easily.
We actually had one of these. We had the original Yoga at our house for a little while, and my wife and I actually used it for cooking. So we had, we put it in a non-greasy spot, not quite close to the stove, but where you're chopping or whatever, and it's a pretty nifty way to cook if you've got your recipe pulled up on your favorite, recipe site or whatever. And now this is tent mode, right? So named for obvious reasons. I'll give you the clear profile of it. Tent mode, Kevin, really some similar uses to stand mode, right? So you're if you're Skyping with somebody, it's a really nice thing to do.
Well, actually, the camera's at the bottom here.
Oh,
so
my bad.
Want
so you wouldn't Skype here, yeah.
Right. Stand mode is what you want to use for video chatting.
Watching a movie, then, number one.
Watching a movie and your earlier thing about cooking, right? For recipes and things like that. This sort of gets the guts of the computer or the body of the computer up off the counter.
Off the counter, sure.
Right?
Okay.
So you can stand it here, change the angle, do whatever you need to do, and then reach over and just flick the screen to go through your recipe, do whatever. But also, long story short, this mode is a media consumption mode, right? As opposed to laptop where you're actually doing something creative.
In laptop mode, you're creating, and you're most likely working, or at the very least, emailing and that sort of thing. Flip around to a tablet or any of these, and you're much more geared towards playtime, watching a movie, having fun, just maybe browsing the web or looking at your apps from the Windows Store, that sort of thing, right?
All right. You want to grab our other one?
Yeah, so we secretly unboxed another one. And here, I'll grab it and let's take a look. Let's boot this baby up. Here you go. You want to swap with me?
All right.
And we'll get the silver out of here. Let's get a quick shot of both. Want to flip it around, and you'll need to bring it back to life there. So yeah, here's the two colors available. Clementine orange. And the silver that we were showing you. And again, these are the same colors we had in the first generation. Very popular with people. Right. Worth noting that the Clementine orange is maybe not available in all countries.
Right.
So check with your local suppliers. But I will say this for the orange color. We thought it was a girl color when we launched Yoga, and I've seen a lot of men choose that over the silver. So I think we've got two fairly good options for you.
Okay. We just wanted to bring this out to show the color ports and everything, obviously the same. Just briefly on specs, like I said, up to i7, up to 256 gigs of storage, up to 8 gigs of RAM, right? So fully configurable as essentially a high-end Ultrabook with all the other cool modes. So we've got...
Kevin, is it worth noting that, a few years ago, people were buying netbooks like crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so this is another comparison about now versus yesterday.
Right.
The netbook craze was cool while it lasted, but at some point people found, I think, that the devices were too limited. They were small form factor, and that was useful. But this, again, we're talking about an 11-inch form factor with all the power you need, up to Core i7, really the best speed and power you can get, right?
Yeah, so the specs in that respect do not vary significantly from the 13. It's really more about offering choice, right? Is your desired form factor a 13-inch laptop and a 13-inch tablet or an 11-inch, right? Shave a bit of weight off this. Like I said, this is 3.1 pounds. To me, this is the ideal form factor to carry around for a total, weight load, 3 pounds, tablet, notebook, kind of everything all in one.
Agreed.
Yep.
Anything else to cover today?
No, I think that's a pretty exhaustive overview of the Yoga 11S.
11S. And Kevin, what does the S stand for?
It's a secret.
S for secret. Or your ideas are welcome. We have no idea. But ask yourself one question: do you need 2 devices, or can you do it in one? And this makes a pretty compelling case, I think, for using one device where 2 used to be required.
Well, that's why we designed it that way.
Right on. That's Yoga 11S. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.